All right, if you're gearing up for your GCSEs, you know that Macbeth is a huge deal. So in this explainer, we're jumping straight into Act 1, breaking down all the key moments you absolutely need to know. We're going to trace the incredible and kind of terrifying journey of a celebrated hero and watch as those very first seeds of his corruption get planted. Let's get right into it.
Right from the jump, in the very first scene, Shakespeare hits us with this incredible line from the witches. Honestly, this little paradox is the master key to the entire play. It's telling us that in the world of Macbeth, absolutely nothing is what it seems. What looks good could be evil, and what looks evil, well, it might just be good. The world is completely upside down, just full of chaos and deception. You have to remember this quote. It is central to everything that's about to happen.
So let's set the scene. Scotland is smack in the middle of a brutal war, and the whole mood is just bleak. But out of all this chaos, we start to hear these reports of an unbelievable warrior, a man who is single-handedly turning the tide of the battle. And you guessed it, that man is Macbeth.
You know, we don't even meet Macbeth right away. We hear about him from a wounded captain on the battlefield. And how is he described? As brave, a valiant, unstoppable soldier who's just carving his way through the enemy. This is our starting point, Macbeth the hero, loyal, respected, and totally fearsome. This first impression is so important because we're about to watch it completely fall apart.
Okay, so fresh from this massive victory, Macbeth and his good friend Banquo are crossing this barren, spooky heath when they bump into three very strange figures. The Weird Sisters, or the Witches. They represent these powerful supernatural forces that are going to prey on Macbeth's deepest thoughts and light a fire under his ambition. This moment, this is the catalyst for the entire tragedy. So the first prophecy isn't a surprise at all. Macbeth is already the Thane of Glamis. The witches are just stating a fact here, basically to get his attention and make him trust what they're about to say next. Now this second one, this one stops Macbeth dead in his tracks. As far as he knows, the Thane of Cawdor is alive and loyal to the king. This plants a huge seed of possibility in his mind. You can almost see the gears starting to turn, can't you? He's thinking, wait, could this actually be true? And here it is, the bombshell, the final, the most shocking, and definitely the most seductive prophecy of them all. To go from being a respected nobleman to the King of Scotland, this idea just completely takes over Macbeth's imagination. It awakens an ambition that, he might not have even known was lurking inside him. This is the thought that is going to consume him. Oh, but the witches aren't done. They have a prophecy for Banquo too. He won't ever be king himself, but his children will be. Now this is a fantastic detail to bring up in any analysis. It sets up this perfect contrast with Macbeth, and it becomes a massive source of Macbeth's paranoia and jealousy later on in the play. So definitely keep an eye on Banquo's destiny.
So right now, these are just words, right? Spoken by some strange women on a heath. Until they're not. Because Macbeth doesn't have to wait very long for these predictions to start looking terrifyingly real.
Just moments after the witches literally vanish into thin air, messengers from King Duncan arrive. They bring the news that the old Thane of Cawdor was actually a traitor and has been executed. And guess what? The king has given his title to Macbeth as a reward. The second prophecy has come true. I mean, can you imagine Macbeth's shock?
Macbeth's reaction here is so interesting. He asks, "Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?" This is a brilliant metaphor, and it's all about that theme of appearance versus reality. The new title, it doesn't feel like it really belongs to him. It feels like he's wearing a costume. This is a key idea that runs through the entire play, this sense of hiding your true self and wearing a disguise.
And this moment right here just perfectly shows Macbeth's mind splitting in two. In a private aside, he starts debating with himself. If this whole prophecy thing is evil, why did it start with a truth that brought him success? But if it's good, why is he already having thoughts of murder, a horrid image that makes his heart pound and his hair stand on end? His ambition and his conscience have just declared war on each other.
Banquo, on the other hand, is way more cautious. He basically warns Macbeth, hey, sometimes evil forces, the instruments of darkness, they tell us little truths to trick us into damning ourselves over something much bigger. Banquo is acting like Macbeth's conscience here, and his wisdom is the perfect foil to Macbeth's growing reckless ambition.
So Macbeth is wrestling with all these crazy thoughts. But the world keeps turning, and a big political announcement is about to force his hand. And at the exact same time, news of the prophecy reaches the other major driving force of this play, his wife, Lady Macbeth.
This is such a critical moment. King Duncan publicly names his son Malcolm as the next in line to be king. For Macbeth, this is a huge obstacle. He now realizes that final prophecy, becoming king, it's not just going to fall into his lap. It's a step, as he calls it, that he must either give up on or overleap. Fate isn't going to be enough. He has to take action.
And this quote is absolutely vital. This is the first time Macbeth openly admits to his black and deep desires. He's not just thinking about murder as some horrid image anymore. He's actually embracing it as a real option. He's calling on the darkness to hide what he's thinking, which firmly connects him to these themes of evil and deception.
Meanwhile, back at their castle, Lady Macbeth has just read his letter about the witches, and her reaction? It's immediate and it's ruthless. She completely believes he deserves to be king, but she's worried that he's too good, too kind to do what needs to be done. To her, his kindness is actually a weakness that's standing in the way of their ambition. Wow, what an incredible speech. Here, Lady Macbeth is calling on evil spirits to literally strip away her femininity, to unsex her, and replace it with pure, cold cruelty. She sees things like compassion and remorse as obstacles to power, and she's willing to throw away her own humanity to get what she wants. It's a truly shocking moment, and this violent rejection of her own nature, well, it's something that will come back to haunt her. So when Macbeth finally gets home, she immediately takes charge. And this line perfectly sums up her entire strategy. It is the ultimate instruction on how to be deceptive. She's telling him to look welcoming and harmless on the outside, but underneath, be ready to strike like a hidden snake. It's just a masterful quote about the difference between how things look and how they really are. King Duncan arrives at Macbeth's castle as their honored guest. The plan now has to become a reality, but Macbeth is having some serious second thoughts. This final part of the act is this incredibly tense battle of wills between what's left of Macbeth's conscience and his wife's ruthless determination. And for a moment, the hero we met at the start of the play, he's back. Macbeth decides he just can't go through with the murder, and he gives some really good reasons. Duncan is his king, his cousin, and a guest in his home. Plus, he's just been honored by him. That sense of loyalty, that fear of the consequences, it's still there. He's right on the brink, but he pulls back.
Lady Macbeth's response is brutal, but it is brilliant. She doesn't argue with his reasons. She goes straight for his pride. She attacks his manhood. She asks him if he's a coward, afraid to actually take the thing he wants so badly. She questions his love for her and basically calls him weak. It's a masterful piece of psychological manipulation, and it's designed to shame him into doing it. And when she sees his resolve start to crumble, she lays out the chillingly simple plan. Get the guards drunk until they pass out, use their own daggers to kill the king, and then smear the blood all over them to frame them. The plan is set. It's brutal, and it's simple. And her manipulation works. The act ends with Macbeth's final chilling words, "I am settled to this terrible feat." The noble warrior who started this whole act being celebrated for his loyalty is now fully committed to murdering his king in his sleep. So, the question Act 1 leaves us with is this. Is the hero gone for good, totally consumed by his ambition? And what on earth is going to happen next?